Hi guys, and welcome back to season 2. We're so excited to have you here. I'm Abby.
And I'm Bailey. And just as a little reminder, part of this podcast is visual. So if you would like to see the photos or the videos that we reference, you can go to our Instagram at who with a 0 for the O _R_they_, or you can check out our YouTube at the same name if you'd rather just watch the podcast. We also have TikTok that you can go and follow where we post just little videos of our life and we post updates on the show. And that is the same username. Hello, and welcome back to season 2 of the Who Are They podcast. Can you believe we're here, Abby?
I really cannot. Genuinely, I don't know if our listeners know this about me, but I don't really know what to call it. Like a obsession girl, but like...
Girl, me too.
But what would you call that?
Short-term obsessions?
Yes.
Like, it's almost like I don't think OCD is the right word for it.
No. Because it's very short-term and it's very, very specific things.
Yes.
So my short-term obsessions, maybe we should do an episode about obsessions. So I won't list them all.
I think it's the control freak part of me that makes me obsess about things.
Mine are more like hobbies almost. But anyways, I feel like why am I talking about this? Because
you can't believe we're here.
Right. Because I thought this was going to be like short-term obsession. Sometimes I wonder if it still will be, once we get through season 2, if I'll still want to keep going. Right. But for now, we're having fun. It's a blast.
And a good old grand time.
I can't believe we're here because short-term obsession girl over here thought it would be one season and done.
Right. Well, we've got some big things for season 2 lined up as well.
I'm excited.
We're going to start incorporating some interviews, some fun topics. It's going to be a great time.
And we hope to get some of our listeners to give us some topics.
Right. Maybe engage with us a little more than season 1.
Right. It's okay though. Growth. Growth and opportunity.
Right. It's going to be so good. But we're just going to start today with a little catch up of our break. We took like 4 weeks off.
Right. We're
so
going to do a little
month.
catch up, which is we're recording a couple days before this comes out, and the episode itself was pre-recorded. So You'll hear that. We recorded that a month ago.
Yes. But so I'll start us out. We had took about a 4-week break right before my spring break. So I'm pretty sure I mentioned it before. I was recovering from pink eye, going into my spring break. And I just stayed in Nashville, where I live for my break, and it was a good grand old time. I was pretending I was a little tourist. I would go to 12 South, went a little boutique shopping. I went to a lot of coffee shops. I just was really chill for the first part. And then for the second part, my boyfriend was kind of on like this sounds weird, but like a preaching tour.
Okay.
Like the first Sunday, he preached at our home church because like the head pastor was out. So he was filling in for him. And then the second Sunday of break, he went to go preach at his family's home church back in Arkansas.
Oh, that's fun.
So for the second part of break, we went to Little Rock, Arkansas.
Did they ask him to come?
Yeah, they asked him to come back. Isn't that cute?
That's so sweet.
And I think it was because their pastor wanted to go, like, was going on spring break as well with his family. So
okay,
some time off.
That makes sense.
Or for some reason he had to have some time off, so they asked him to come back, and it was so sweet. Because I got to meet all these little old ladies who would walk up to me and go, they'd be like, "Oh, I knew him in the nursery."
Stop.
And all this stuff.
That is hilarious.
And I think they would all tell me the same stories about him. And then when I left when we drove home Sunday after he preached. It was super sweet. We spent a lot of time with his family, and then like 30 of us went out to eat. Oh. Basically, the whole church service went out to eat after the service, and then as we're leaving, we were going to head home. And I think I had 3 different women tell me to take care of their favorite boy.
I don't know if that's really sweet or a little bit weird, but like I have a feeling it was like old woman sweet vibes.
Yeah, it was, but I was a little nervous.
Yeah.
Because my eye was like hurting, and I was like, what if I crash? I
Like
didn't take care of their sweet boy.
every single old woman in that church is gonna come for you if something happens.
They love him. Like, love him.
Like,
He
you
grew up
better
there.
run far, far, far. If anything happens, all those old ladies will be chasing after you.
Yeah, but I mean, we got home safe. That was a few weeks ago. So great, overall great spring break. Since then, I went back to school. I've been teaching for a few weeks. Who knows how many weeks?
3 or 4.
We finished up all of our curriculum for the year.
Holy crap. What
and
the
so
heck?
we had to like rush through it so that we have time to prep for TCAP, which is our like Tennessee State assessment. And so now we're prepping for that. We have like a week and a half before we're actually going to do the tests.
What do you do
finished
after?
up everything. They do like a project.
Oh, okay.
So kind of a fun. It's like a whirlwind of a year because they have after the TCAP they have to take this Ames web testing, which our district makes us take, and then they have to take the 5th grade placement test, which places them in a math class for middle school, and then all of the celebrations and everything that we just end up doing a project. And like science, I teach science too, so we get to do a little bit more than that. Then maybe we like having more time for that. But yeah, so now we just started this TCAP practice where they took this practice test, and for every question they get wrong, this might be really boring if you're not a teacher, but it's
interesting to me. I don't know.
Right.
I like hearing what you guys are doing.
So they took like a practice TCAP test, and every question is tied to a standard, you know? So a standard from 5th grade. So any question they got wrong, they have to do a specific worksheet to like complete it. And so I check their worksheets, and if they get it like based on the if they get it right the first, second, or third try, they get to go pick like from this point spin. They get to take an egg out of a point spin. They can like collect points, and then they can buy prizes like candy.
Oh, that's kind of
so fun, the kids they're into it. It's really fun. It's kind of stressful because it's a lot of papers to check.
Right.
But some of my kids that have not paid attention all year are like invested in this.
Wow, that's good though. That's really good.
They're kind of like, how do you do this? And I go, yeah, would have been nice if you
paid attention earlier.
Listened to me in November, wouldn't it? Now
I wish I had something like that because we're prepping for MSTEP, our state test in Michigan.
Oh yeah.
And we're still doing our curriculum, but my warm-ups are practice MSTEP problems. And other than that, we don't really do any other prep. And
no, like we rushed to get through so that we had a week and a half to review everything we've learned this year.
Yeah. I wish I had more time to review. I might have a little bit of time, but probably not much at all.
Yeah, and it's kind of nice because it's just like a little bit of they get it. Like even if they don't get a ton of like one-on-one time with me, they've at least seen how to do something and like practiced it a little bit before they go and take the test. Yeah, so that'll be really fun. Kind of stressful. So I had to do the training for that. All that super chill. I also had my 25th birthday over this break.
A quarter of a century old.
Yes, and I have been telling my kids, I told them like at the beginning of the school year that your brain doesn't fully develop until you turn 25. And so they were super excited for me to turn 25. They're like, whoa, your brain's not fully developed yet. And then on the day of, I got a little card from a little girl that said, congratulations or something like that about your brain being fully developed. And so that was really cute. Actually, my kids were really the cutest. Okay, so my birthday was last Tuesday. It's April 2nd, just in case our listeners ever want to celebrate me. But
my birthday's June 15th, too, by the way.
Hers is still coming up. So my kids knew when my birthday was, and they kept asking me. And they kept asking me, like, oh, what do you like? What do you like? And so that was really cute. But then the day of, we had some bad, like, we had a cold weather and storms, like, front coming in. So they were kind of concerned about tornadoes. But they still had us go to school that day. Like, all the counties around us just closed. But we went to school. And then at, like, 8:30 in the morning, they made the decision that they were going to send us home for a half day.
Don't you love that?
And it was so stressful because, like, my kids were just taking a test that day, and most of them got it done because it wasn't a really long one. So that part wasn't that bad. But I spent basically the whole morning, like, waiting by my computer to hear, like, how kids were going to get picked up for this emergency weather release. And then, like, as kids are leaving is when, like, the downpour and the storms and the lightning started. And we couldn't let kids outside because of the lightning. And then parents were phoning in and they're like, why is our kid, like, there's traffic out to the road. And we're like, yeah, like, what do you want us to do about it? Everybody's getting picked up right now.
Right.
Anyways, but my kids were super cute. They all wished me happy birthday. They were all excited for me. At one point in the morning when they were unpacking their stuff, they were being really loud in the cubby, and I told this one kid to peek his head in there and tell them to stop talking in there and get their stuff. And he comes back out and he goes, they're being loud because they want you to go in there. And then as I listen closer, they're just kind of going, and I was like, oh. So I walk in there, and then, like, half my kids are in there.
What did they do? Be like, guys, just make noise, like any random noise.
Yeah, and that was all they were doing. The closer I listened, they were just like, and I was like, golly, that is like, pretend to chat loud.
Yeah.
I just doing that. I walk in there and like half my class is in there and they sang me happy birthday.
That's so cute.
So that was so cute. And I got some crumble cookies. And since we went, my coworker was going to buy me lunch that day, but we all went home early.
Right.
So she bought me lunch the next day. And then on my birthday that night, there was that tornado watch. So I just went to my boyfriend's house and we watched a movie and we made tacos.
Nice.
Which is Abby's least favorite thing.
No, I never said that. I've never tried it.
You're right, and I think you would like it.
I told
my coworkers about the tacos, and they were like, "Oh, that sounds good."
Next time I come, you can make them for me, okay?
I will. Yeah. Then that's pretty much my whole break.
That
the whole time we've had off,
like a dream.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
One
more thing. Sorry to cut you off,
You're fine. Go ahead.
The 4th and 5th graders at our school put on this play, and like the production is better than my high school plays.
Oh,
like sets are better, costumes are better. They can afford name brand plays. They did Beauty and the Beast.
Oh,
and they performed it for the whole school this morning. And like the little girl in my class is the one that was Belle, and a bunch of half my class was in this play.
Right.
And it was like such a proud mom moment as I just watched them do Beauty and the Beast, and it was so sweet and it was so cute, and costumes fantastic, and the whole thing was fantastic.
That's so
that
fun.
Was just really the best.
Anyways, I love watching the school play every year.
Oh, me too. And I was like, I've never seen like a school play with this type of production, and this is just 4th and 5th grade.
Yeah.
They're in for it. In the Nashville area, they're into the arts.
I'm sure they're great at the arts.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So when we took a break, I still had a few weeks of school before we got to go on spring break, which was just torture. I mean, it was fine, but I knew Bailey was on break and like other stuff, so it felt like it lasted absolutely forever. That's when I started taking kids' voices. I remember talking about that.
Oh, I brought that into my classroom.
Yeah.
It worked for like a week.
Yeah, it worked for a little bit. I think I don't use it all the time. I just use it when I have to. So it still works for me every once in a while. But now, or after that, we went on spring break, and I went with my family, and we drove down to Georgia. And that was just wonderful because the weather was about 60 degrees, if not a little bit more, every single day. And it was just beautiful because the day we left, oh, wait, this was the best part. We were gonna go to school. We had like a 5-day week, and then it was spring break. And we had been told we were going to get 3 to 5 inches of snow or something like that on Friday, but it wasn't going to start until 8 in the morning or something. So it was like that weird, like you could get a snow day, you might not get a snow day. And at one point it had been almost 7 inches. We miraculously got a snow day the Friday before spring break. And best news ever. Best news ever. Because I still had to pack and do tons of stuff. Because I'm a procrastinator.
So you got to do it slowly instead of rushed.
And then we left for spring break, went down to Georgia. That was pretty fun. We ended up going hiking a handful of places. I'm not a huge hiker. I think it's because I don't like going straight up mountains, and that's what some of my family likes to do.
I get that. I feel like I would like to say I'm a hiker, but then when I get out there, I'm just like, when is this over?
Right. I'm a chill walker,
Yeah.
you know?
Like I like paths.
Yeah, me too.
Like walking paths,
Yep. I like even walking out in the woods,
which is great, but
but
like
not up a
hiking up,
mountain.
right. Like I like the destination if the destination's cool.
But I still wouldn't go straight up a mountain just for a cool destination.
No.
And so that was fun. There was a hike that I just said, no, I'm not doing it because it was up a mountain and I was so tired. I decided I wasn't there for it. So I just laid by a little stream and read my book.
Oh, that's cute.
Yep. Um, I will say my hiker vibes is go as slow as possible and always are the last one in the group. It does never fails. I'm always the absolutely last one.
That's the person that gets like killed by the bear or something.
And I would be dead every time. Unless the bear came from the front of the group.
That's
and
true.
then
Then
I'm
you'd be
safe.
safe. Yeah, you'd have time to get away. Back up the mountain.
Unless it's on the way going up.
Right. That's true.
Whatever. Anyways, we did hiking. We had like a little pickleball tournament one day.
Where did you go in Georgia?
LJ. It's like
I
North
said
Georgia.
I asked like I would know.
You have no idea.
I've been to Atlanta.
Yeah, same. And then I saw a Bojangles. Have you had Bojangles?
No, but there's a lot of Bojangles around here, and I think Jacob likes their biscuits.
Well, I never still, to this day, haven't had their food. But once upon a time, when I was on a spring break trip in Texas, this was the spring break trip with the cute Southern boy and all the people from South Carolina. They had told us to either go to Bojangles or try Cheerwine or something.
Which they also have at Cookout.
I don't know.
So I have tried that. It's another chain down here.
Well, anyways, I saw Bojangles and I said to my family, "Oh my gosh, we have to go there, if only just so I can try Cheerwine." Not that I like felt like it was going to be anything special, but like it's been 4 years, and I'm like, I feel like I still have to try it, you know?
Right.
So we did that. It was great. I liked it. Unfortunately, I don't really drink pop anymore, so I only took a couple sips, but I did like it.
Right. It's fine. I feel like I tried it the first time that I went to Cookout.
If you haven't tried Cheerwine, basically it's like a cherry Coke, but more cherry flavor.
Right. It's really red,
I think it's better than a cherry Coke. Yeah, I think it is red. Anyways, that was great. I did tons of reading. I would like to announce that I finally finished my book series, Keeper of the Lost Cities. Read a couple other books. I'm in the middle of like a little cute little standalone book, and then I'm gonna go to what's that series called? Oh, Throne of Glass by Sarah J. Maas. That's my next series. Nice. Wait, no, I just lied to you. My next series is Inheritance Games, I think.
Okay. I'm going to tell you something amazing. When we were in Arkansas, we went to this little secondhand bookshop, and I had like been thinking about lately this book from middle school that I read about how it's not like, it's kind of dystopian, I guess.
Did you tell us about this before?
No, this is a book where I couldn't remember the name of it.
Yes, I think you did talk about this before.
And it's where a comet hits the moon.
Oh, maybe you didn't.
And hits it closer. No, this is a different one that I read around the same time in 8th grade. I read all these books that were fantastic because I had a fantastic teacher. And this like comet hits the moon, makes it go closer to the Earth, and kind of like what happens to the Earth after that.
Okay.
Scary stuff. And I'd like been thinking about this book series, and it wasn't a very popular book series. But I was gonna look it up and like maybe get it on Amazon because they're not even at the library near me.
Oh.
So I walk into this bookstore, I look through the whole thing, and then I say to Jacob, I'm like, I'm gonna go in the children's section. And I do, and I walk and I'm looking around there for like 10 minutes. And then I look over and they have the entire book series of this book that I couldn't remember for like $2 a piece. So this whole book series, yes.
Good.
And I was like, this is the most amazing day of my life. Like, no other bookstore would, like, if I were to walk into a regular bookstore, they don't even always have these books.
Right.
But somehow
someone like donated them or something, probably.
Someone donated the entire series of this book. So if you want to read it, it's like I think the first one's called The World as We Knew It. Something like that. There's like 4 or 5 books. And the bookstore I went to, I looked over on the shelf, they had every single copy, and I was like, what the heck? Anyways, cool. I thought that was amazing. Okay. So good.
My last little update thing really fast. I'm going to put this in this week's episode because we don't know the outcome of March Madness yet. Okay.
Oh, yes.
But every single year, by the time you listen to this episode, we'll know who won. If anybody cares about basketball. But every single year I'm in a bracket with one of my friends from college, Lori, and then her brothers and their girlfriends. And so there's 6 of us in this bracket. And I have a chance at winning. It's between me and Lori's brother, Nathan. Okay. Now I have a feeling I'll lose, but whatever. We're hoping, crossing our fingers, that I win. Basically, I've chosen Purdue, and he chose UCLA.
Okay.
I think that's a team. I hope that's a team. Otherwise, I'm going to sound really stupid. No, it's not. It's not.
UCLA?
No, it's a team.
Oh, okay.
It's the team is UConn. It's UConn.
Oh, okay.
That's the team I'm talking about. So he chose UConn. I chose Purdue. We're waiting to see what happens. And I'm hoping those 2 teams go to the final, and then they've got to play each other.
That would be exciting for you.
I still have a feeling UConn will win, but let's hope. You can console me on Tuesday if they lost, if Purdue lost, or congratulate me.
All right. I will remember to do that.
Thank you. Yeah, I know you won't, but that's okay.
I almost went to Purdue.
Really?
The only 2 schools I applied for were Central Michigan and Purdue.
Wow, girl.
And then I said, I'm a teacher. I can't go to out of state.
I can't go to out of state. Well, that's all my catch up.
And that's all mine.
Yeah.
So now we're going to...
I guess, yeah, that's my catch up.
Okay.
I was going to add that we've been back in school for a week, and I'm more tired than I was when I left for spring break, but...
Oh, me too.
That's not fun or interesting.
No,
really.
My kids came back from spring break the worst humans.
Oh, thankfully
I thought they'd be
didn't.
tired, but they came back awful people.
I came back a worse human, I think.
I started out chipper.
Oh, I did not.
And then I went, whoop. Anyways. Yeah, so that's our catch up. This is going to lead into the rest of the episode that maybe we sound a little different. Maybe we sound like we have more energy, less energy. Who knows? But it was recorded at a different time than this.
Yeah. So enjoy our episode.
Our dive into the past.
Yeah, I was gonna say what our topic is, and I couldn't remember.
Nostalgia. I used to not be able to say that word. Nostalgia. Yes. You know what? I used to always go nostalgia.
Shut
and I go,
I
that's
remember
not right.
You saying that one time,
and I needed someone to
that's
it was one of those words that
I
know it was one of those words that I needed someone else to say before my brain could process it. We are so excited to be back here for season 2 of the Who Are They podcast. I'm Bailey.
And I'm Abby.
And we're going to get today started with our history of the day.
Okay. So the history is from 3 years ago.
Oh, wow.
2021.
That doesn't feel like it should be 3 years ago, but yeah.
Yeah. Because I believe this is Bailey's 22nd birthday.
Aw.
And I sent Bailey about, there's 10 photos in a part of this history. So it's not a video this time. They're just pictures. But I'll let you explain kind of what it is when you look at it.
I can look at the pictures now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, there are 11 images here. The first one is Abby holding a coffee in our favorite hometown coffee shop, Live Oak. If you are in the area, go visit. She looks cute. She's got a little mask on her face, so this is obviously probably 2021.
COVID.
It's not 2020 because world would have been shut down. It was shut down on my 21st birthday. So
right. So this is your 22nd.
Yes. So second picture, we're sitting in the same spot, but instead of a picture of Abby, it's a picture of me wearing a mask holding a coffee. And I guarantee you it's a vanilla latte because that's what I get every single time.
And do you remember what conversation we had here? I specifically remember you teaching me how to get a credit card.
That was here?
Yeah.
Wow, I'm so glad. I have told multiple people how to get a credit card and like walked them through the steps, which is so like some people might look down on that, but I'm like, you got to get that credit score, use that credit card. Anyway,
I know.
I have walked multiple people through how to get a credit card.
Yeah.
So I'm honored that we did this on my 22nd birthday.
Mm-hmm.
My hair's blonde. I was blonde for 1 year of my life, and that was it because it killed my hair. My hair is really dying in this photo, and I've probably only been blonde for about 6 months. The third photo, Abby's going to put it on the screen in her fancy editing, but if you are not watching our YouTube video, you need to go to the Instagram, or you're going to have no idea what photos I'm even talking about.
Yeah.
This third photo is Abby and I together outside of the coffee shop. There's this really cute mural, and we decided we were going to take a little photo shoot. The only problem was the photographer was just my phone. We had no photographer. So we set this camera on the floor, and I'm pretty sure we took a video, and I just took screenshots of the video.
We did. There's a whole video. It's like...
But in the corner of this photo is an ugly pipe that's in the middle of this mural. And I know that after we looked at these photos, we saw that pipe, and we were so disappointed. But we look cute. I'm wearing a cute green sweater. Abby's wearing a cute pink sweater. We go so spring-like cute together.
Yeah, those jeans don't fit me anymore, which is unfortunate, but it's fine.
I do not have those jeans either. They were good ones, though.
Yeah. All right, keep moving. There's too many more photos.
I am. I'm looking at the fourth photo. This fourth photo is a picture of a van that says Fur Babies on the side. It is a mobile grooming thing, but picture Lisa Frank, that whole vibe, on the side of this van. So a Lisa Frank dog, and it says Fur Babies. Now, it's a mobile grooming, so we just thought the picture on this was so funny we had to take a picture of it. And also, what are they doing to the dogs in there?
I have no idea.
Like, is this normal grooming, or are they dyeing their hair? Anyways,
I couldn't tell
next photo. We are at a bookshop called Midland Street Books. On my birthday, we went to Bay City, and we went to this bookshop, and it's a used bookshop. Very cute, very aesthetic. Inside, I'm holding, next photo, I'm inside, wearing a mask. 3 books are in my hand. I'm also holding Abby's wallet. I don't know what 3 books those are. Let's see. I think one of them is Jane Eyre.
Really?
Or Little Women. One of them. Because it looks like the books I still have. And I did read both of those books. Very good books. This next photo, we had gone into an antique shop. This is quite the photo for my birthday.
This was a whole day, by the way.
Yeah, these are all on the same day.
We started in our hometown, and we went to this coffee. Well, we started actually at our college town, drove to our hometown, went to get coffee, then drove over to Bay City to go to this bookstore, went to an antique store, and then I think we ended up with our friend Grace somewhere later that night.
So now we're at the antique store, and Abby and I went under this staircase, and there was just this room full of weird photos. And we found one that said "Friends are forever" on this like slice of wood, and we took a picture with it because friends are forever. The next photo, we're at an antique shop again. I'm wearing a flower hat, a vintage flower hat. Probably should have bought it because I could have worn this for another occasion.
You could have gotten lice from that.
Yeah, but I didn't.
No.
The next photo is a photo of Abby sitting next to her grandparents and a cat on her lap.
This is one of my favorite photos of myself of all time, I'm not going to lie. Not because I think I look that good, but because I think this photo is absolutely hilarious.
Also, the mask is on your face, but I can tell you are smiling so large.
Oh, I was laughing so hard.
You're having a good time. The cat on your lap really sends me because it looks like a real cat.
I know.
And then you're sitting next to your grandparents. Those, in case you didn't know, those are not Abby's real grandparents. They're dolls.
No. Mm-hmm.
And I'm sitting this is again in an antique shop. Next photo, also in an antique shop. It's a room full of vintage doors. And it's kind of aesthetic.
Artsy vibes.
Yeah, artsy vibes. But it also gives, Bailey, why do you walk like that?
Maybe a little bit, actually.
So I'm walking in this photo, but also I look like a mom just like walking.
In this antique store, we also found like a there were a bunch of yearbooks, and in one of the yearbooks we found was one of my parents' old yearbooks, and we found pictures of my parents in the yearbook, which is
I forgot that we saw that. That is hilarious. Oh, this next photo, I don't really remember this, but it's definitely, you know the book, The Old Woman That Swallowed a Fly?
Mm-hmm.
It is a doll version of the book. So I think we had pulled all the little animals out of her. She's like, some lady probably made this. And in her mouth, you can put all of the animals that she eats in the book.
No.
You really got to go look at these pictures on the Instagram or be watching the video.
Well, the reason I put this photo in there, I think takes us into our topic so well. Because this old lady eating all the animals thing is very nostalgic for me because my family had one of these when I was a kid.
Oh, did you really?
Yes. And so it takes me back in time. And I would never of my own memory have known that we had that, except that we saw it at this antique store and I was like, oh my gosh, I've seen that before, right?
Those are the best memories when you totally forgot it even existed and you see something and it was actually quite important to your childhood.
I know. And you're like, how could I have ever forgotten that? But like, yes. Okay. So our topic today is all about nostalgic things from childhood.
Right.
We focused in on movies, books, and TV shows. So we're kind of going to just go back and forth and hopefully we have some similar ones. If they're too different, I feel like it won't be that interesting. But we'll just move on.
But it might be interesting to the viewers. I bet they'll.
True.
I hope we resonate with you. Also, if you have any of these childhood memories, reach out to us. Let us know. We'd like to hear how you related to this. Mm-hmm. Do you want to start with TV?
Sure.
I think we'll have a lot in common here.
I'm unsure because here's my question before we begin. Were you a Disney or a PBS kid?
I was both.
Oh, okay.
Because we had Disney Channel, and I loved Disney Channel, but also, this is very nostalgic to me. I remember in elementary school, I would walk to school, so I'd walk home from school. And after school, I don't know what time we would get out, but if I wanted to watch Arthur on PBS, I would have to, like, book it home to make it in time. And I might miss the first few minutes, but if I wanted to watch Arthur, I had to book it home, because if I took too long, Arthur was over and Fetch with Rough Ruffman was on, and I hated that show.
No, listen, Fetch with Rough Ruffman is my all-time favorite nostalgic PBS kids show. And I used to turn that on every single day and watch the whole thing. And like that's one that I remember without like even looking anything up or like having to see anything. Rough Ruffman. I couldn't tell you what the show is about, actually.
I'm pretty sure it was a kids game show.
Yeah, they would like go and do stuff.
And I just hated the dog, the animated dog. I hated him. I don't know why. I think I was more upset about the fact that I missed Arthur. I didn't get home in time for Arthur.
Yeah.
And I had to watch this.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, I would book it home to go watch Arthur.
Okay, PBS. Did you watch Dragon Tales?
Loved Dragon Tales. I had Dragon Tales stuffed animals.
What? I didn't even know that was a thing.
Yes, they would sing. I had
That's creepy.
no, Zach and Wheezy are those the ones that were connected.
Yeah.
They would sing a little song, and then I also had the little one. Who was it?
The pink one?
The pink one, the little
the
pink
girl
dragon. And I loved her. Dragon Tales.
Dragon Tales.
But I never remember the whole song. I go to sing it,
and I can't remember it. But you want to know what? In my college years, and honestly, since college, I have looked up Dragon Tales a couple times and like watched a little bit of an episode on YouTube.
Is it good still?
Like it's boring because I'm not a kid. But like,
right, but
it's so
do you think children would
sweet.
still enjoy it?
I don't know. I think the animation is so different now, but
that's
hopefully.
true. Do you remember the little chant they would say to go to Dragonland?
No.
They would hold the scale. Also, they just had the scale in that box.
Mm-hmm.
And I used to try to say that chant. I know, because I want to go to Dragonland. And it was like, I wish I may, I wish I might.
Oh
No, it
yeah.
wasn't. Is it?
I don't know.
On this
It sounded
dragon
good.
and take me to the land of dragons or something. But that could also just be like, what'd you say when you wish on a star? I wish I may, I wish I might.
Yeah, I honestly couldn't tell you. I don't know.
But yes, loved that one. My brother and I's favorite PBS show was Cyber Chase.
Oh, I didn't really super get into that one, but it was good. I think
it was so good. And then I would go play the PBS games online.
Oh my gosh, those were the best things in the whole world.
And the Cyber Chase one, I would always go to play it because it was one where you would go on a quest. Oh. And you would have to collect all these supplies from, I think they must have been different planets. I never played that one. You would get on this train, you'd go to different planets, you'd have to go through and quest, you'd collect stuff, and you were trying to solve a mystery. I think you're trying to solve a mystery, and you'd get to go back to your home base, and you could decorate it, and you could save it and play it after. I never beat the game, but it was so good. I restarted it so many times.
My memory from PBS, and tell me if I'm wrong, but I think it had like this wheel of like all the games, and you would like have to spin the wheel to get to the show of like the games you wanted to play or something like that. And I always missed the game I wanted to play, and then I'd have to spin the whole
I do not remember that because I would only play the one game on Cyber Chase.
I remember watching Franklin, like the turtle, and
Franklin.
Little Bear.
I don't remember when
were those.
I think those were on
PBS,
earlier in the day.
Or were those like?
Yeah. Wait. I think Little Bear was Nick Jr.
I don't know, but I remember like watching those when I was a kid.
They might have been on PBS, and if they were, I think they were on earlier in the day because I don't remember watching those as often, but I feel like I would watch them either on a Saturday or if I was sick.
Yeah.
Those were always
I feel
on
like
TV.
sometimes we got those from the library too.
Oh, yes, but those were good. Franklin, I liked Franklin a lot, but I feel like Little Bear was weird.
A little bit. I only remember watching it a few times.
Yeah.
We had the books, I think, though.
Also, thinking of another weird show, do you ever watch Caillou as a kid?
Yeah.
My mom had to ban Caillou when my little sister was little because he was so whiny.
Oh.
She started to get really whiny, and she goes, no more Caillou.
Okay. Did you ever... This is probably the most nostalgic for my whole family.
Okay.
Little House on the Prairie.
Oh, all the time. I used to live with my aunt for like a summer. My family lived with her, and I would watch Little House on the Prairie every single day with her, and then she would read me the books.
Oh, I've never read the books, but we bought every single season of like and have every single DVD of all the episodes, and we like have watched through all of them.
They are so good. That was always, I don't even remember what channel that was on. I think it was something like AMC, which is a movie theater, so I could be incorrect. You never had cable?
No. Well, I did for a very short period of time, but not when I was a kid.
But Little House on the Prairie was on all the time. I did have cable, and I would usually be watching Disney Channel, but I also loved Nickelodeon. Now, my favorite thing on Disney Channel, you probably didn't watch this because you didn't have cable, was Hannah Montana.
I watch it sometimes, but Disney was like such a special thing for us because it was only when we got to go to our grandparents' house did we ever get to watch Disney.
I just remember on like a Friday night, they would have 4 different TV shows where they all had a new episode, and they would be like, you'd get to watch new episode after new episode after new episode, and it was so exciting. And then every once in a while, they'd have like a Disney original movie. So they'd have a few new episodes leading up to it, and then a new movie. And just nothing will bring back you had to be there at the right time to see these new episodes. And if you didn't see it, you missed it. And you had to like, you had to figure out and wait until it aired again to try to see the new episodes.
Pause. We're going to jump to like movies and everything, but I was thinking about this and I was thinking about this episode. Do you remember, because as you're talking about how you had to be there for the moment, right? So when we were kids, we would always have to go to the movie store to like pick out the DVDs and stuff.
Blockbuster?
Yeah, or like my family went to Family Video most of the time.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Or you would like get your DVDs from the library.
Right.
And then it was like the biggest thing ever, and I don't know if you ever did this, but we got Netflix. but at the time, Netflix was get online and go through their like library of stuff, and they would mail you DVDs.
I remember it, but we didn't do that.
Oh, we did it, and it was like the best thing ever because you'd be like waiting and waiting and waiting, and you'd finally get this DVD of like the TV show or like this movie that you really wanted to watch, and then you'd watch it, and then you'd have to send it back.
That is so fun. And the funny thing, it wasn't that long ago, but I think that was around about the same time they started coming out with Redbox.
Yeah, mm-hmm.
And that was really cool. My family would do Redbox, and we would rent movies from there. And that was fun. But also, have you noticed there are still a lot of red boxes?
Yeah, I have.
Out and about. And I'm like, there's no way those are still running. But then they keep the movies up to date in them.
I know. And I like have never heard of anybody using them. Like, I don't know who would if there's so many streaming services.
I don't see anyone ever.
One of my students, one of my students the other day said that her family got a Redbox movie. And I was like, what? Who does that? But I didn't say that to her.
But I do remember when Redbox came out, that was a big deal because it was so easy. And they were like, I think movies were $1 or something. They were really cheap.
I don't even know.
But I didn't know when you went to Blockbuster for the longest time when I was little. I thought it was like the library where you were just checking stuff out. I didn't realize you were actually paying to rent them. But one of the best, we'd go to Blockbuster, there would be, you'd only have like 3 or 4 movies to choose from. It was so easy. It was just the new movie, or you could watch really old movies. But you could also rent video games.
Oh, yeah.
And my brother and I would rent video games sometimes, and you would have to try to beat it in like a weekend or a week, however long you would get.
Because you'd have to take
the rental. Because you'd have to take it back, so you had to try to beat the game. And it was like it was so fun because I feel like my parents would give us extra time on our PlayStation because we had to beat this game before we had to bring it back.
One of my most nostalgic like school age show is Magic School Bus. You always knew it was going to be a good day when they rolled that card in with the big huge TV on it, and you'd be like, we're watching Magic School Bus.
We're watching. That was a good one. Another one that my brother loved, I think this was on PBS. If not, it was on Discovery Kids or something, was History Kids.
Oh, I've never seen that.
And it was... We would watch it at school sometimes, especially in the 5th grade because my teacher was about to retire. So we watched a lot of home videos and History Kids. But that was such a good one. It was about kids in colonial time.
Oh.
In like colonial America. That was a good one. History Kids. Also, I have to ask you this now before I forget.
Okay.
Did you watch a show about cats that were Chinese cats?
Oh, like and they were Siamese cats.
They were Siamese cats.
Oh, and I don't know what it was called.
It's like a fever dream to me, but I know I loved that show.
Interesting. I only watched it a few times, but I know the cover. Like, I know what it looks like.
It had like a pink or a red little scarf around her.
I think so, yeah.
And it was a family of Siamese cats. Sound off in the comments.
Yeah, for real.
If you know what show we're talking about. Because I never even know what to look up.
No,
I guess I probably...
Here's another one. I looked up shows from like early 2000s, okay?
Okay.
And I saw this one. You got to tell me if you remember this one too. It's something like, it's this girl, I think it was called Maggie and the Ferocious Beast.
Yes, I remember it. The beast was yellow and had red spots.
Yes,
I feel like that one, I think, when I was little, was only on really early in the morning. So if I would get up and get ready for school, or if I was sick, that's when Maggie and the Ferocious Beast would come on, because I don't have really good memories of it, but I remember I'd watch it because nothing else was on.
Okay, talking about sickness.
Yes.
There's a movie for my family, and this is one of the movies, like, you know those things that you watch that you're like, I swear no one else has watched this?
Yes.
Like, this is one of those for me.
Okay.
Is every single time we got sick or we were throwing up, my family would always go to Family Video and rent the movie Nanny McPhee.
I think I've only seen Nanny McPhee once, and why would you do that every time?
I don't know. It was just like anytime we were sick, we always just wanted to watch Nanny McPhee. We watched it a couple years ago, and to be honest, it's a horrible movie. But like, it's so nostalgic to us. It's like so good, but it's like so weird. It's like, what is even happening right now?
I have a few of those. I feel like the ones that are the most nostalgic for me are the ones we had on VHS. And we just had this big tub full of VHS tapes.
Yeah.
And one of them I remember being Hook.
What?
We watched that all the time. It was Robin Williams, like, grows up. He was Peter Pan, grows up, goes back to Neverland.
Okay.
We used to watch that one all the time. But then another nostalgic movie, this one was actually on DVD. But I used to watch this every day. I had a TV in my room with a DVD player. Every night when I'd go to bed, I'd watch the movie Ever After with Drew Barrymore.
Oh, I don't know.
It was like a version of a Cinderella story.
Oh.
And I watched it so often, I could have quoted the entire movie to you as we were watching it. That is one of the most nostalgic movies for me.
I think for me, and I've got so many different memories with all these movies. One, Barbie was my childhood.
Oh, Barbie Princess and the Pauper was the best. And Rapunzel.
Know.
Rapunzel was so good. I wanted her hair, her paintbrush. She could paint those outfits and just step into them.
I know. And I love Princess and the Pauper. I can still sing you every song. And then I love the 12 Dancing Princesses. They
so good.
They twirl and circle and their little flower things. And so good. And then they go down that big spiral staircase, and I always wanted a spiral staircase.
I just remember, I remember also seeing the first preview for Barbie and the 12 Dancing Princesses and being so excited that was coming out.
Whenever there was a new Barbie movie coming out, we'd always go to the store. My dad would always buy it for us.
You'd have to.
Sweet. I know.
The Barbie movies were the best. Mermaidia.
Oh, Mermaidia. And Bibble.
Bibble
is literally the best Barbie character.
Bibble, that one scene, the girls will know. That one scene where Bibble eats
eating
the
berries.
different plants and his voice changes used to make me laugh so hard I'd cry.
It still makes me laugh so hard. You want to know what? I would have a movie marathon Barbie edition.
So good.
Still, like right now.
Yeah, they're fantastic movies.
Yeah, if I didn't have to be at work tomorrow, that's what I would do.
Oh, I don't have to be at work tomorrow.
Maybe
that's what I will do.
You should. Okay. Also, for Christmas one year when I was, I don't know when this was, but Christmas, my siblings and I, a few of us, my dad got us like these refurbished like iPods, but it was the nano ones when they had a screen.
Oh, my brother had one of those.
And having screens on anything at that point was like the craziest, most exciting thing ever, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so when we uploaded our music, we could upload movies.
Yes.
Because
to this like 1 inch by 1 inch screen.
Yes. Oh yeah. But at the time, I think my family only had a few movies on iTunes. And the 3 movies we had were Ice Princess.
Oh, good.
Cowbells.
Oh, also good.
And High School Musical.
Only Disney original movies. That's all you had.
And the amount of times I watched those movies, definitely when I was supposed to be sleeping and like was not supposed to be using my iPod, is crazy. Absolutely crazy.
Yeah, my brother was the one with the iPod with the screen. And he had a few episodes of Mythbusters on there.
Oh.
Just random episodes. He had like an episode of The Simpsons on there.
Okay.
And I think he somehow got the YouTube video Llamas with Hats to go on his iPod. So those are the things that I have seen over and over again. If I could get him to give me his iPod on a road trip, that's what would happen.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of road trips, though, did you have a DS with the 2 screens?
Mm-hmm. Yes, and you could like draw and whatever.
I remember I would use those on road trips, but I also remember in the 5th grade, our teacher, we were going to a farther away field trip, and our teacher let us bring our DSs, and you could chat to other.
Yes.
You could chat to anyone that was near you, and so we would just have all these chats on DSs, which nowadays I would not trust my 5th graders to do.
No.
But back then we were just doing dumb stuff.
Well, the funny thing too is just like all of that was basically texting each other.
Right.
But texting wasn't a thing.
Not really. Like if you had a flip phone, you could text, but people I think would rather call at that point.
Oh, for sure. Who wants to type in 3 times per button to get to a certain letter?
And it was so exciting that we could like send these messages to each other. And we didn't have Wi-Fi. We were on like a bus, so I don't know how that worked. They just connected to each other.
Good point. Good point.
But I remember that was. But the thing that everybody would like to do is you just shade the whole screen in black, and then you'd erase.
And
for the words that you wanted to write.
Okay. What were your movies?
Well, mostly Ever After. That was a big one.
Oh yeah. I forgot that.
Barbie. We talked about Barbie. Those were my really big ones. I don't know if I had. Matilda.
Oh, I never have watched that ever.
Watched that one over and over again. Loved that movie. So much that I got a scratch in my DVD, and then it would skip at some part.
Oh, that's the worst.
Also, my first. Now talking about scratches, my first Taylor Swift CD. I had the debut album, and I think I got it when I was like 6. Whenever it came out, and I listened to that so much that it got scratches in it. And there was one particular song that had a scratch in it. And I would still listen to it over and over again to the point where if I listen to that song now on my iPod, I sing it with the scratch in it. Like I know
that's hilarious.
where because it would skip, it would like go back on a word and say it kind of twice, like it stuttered.
Yeah.
And every time I listen to the song still, like my mind does the little stutter. And I go,
that's
wow.
so funny.
I don't even know what, like, I'd have to look at the album to know what song it is, but as soon as it comes on, I go,
you know it. Yeah.
Whenever it stutters.
Okay, I have some books that I just, like, have to know if you read.
Okay.
First of all, like, first grade, me, always read Amelia Bedelia.
I read Amelia Bedelia a little bit. She wasn't my favorite, though.
I was obsessed.
In first grade, I was obsessed with Junie B. Jones.
I didn't read those ones as much.
I read the whole series. I remember when a new book came out, and I was so excited.
Wow, good for you. Dedication.
Yeah, I went to the store, bought it with my own money. I was so excited for Junie B. Jones.
Did you ever read the book Miss Nelson is Missing?
Yes, our teachers, I think, would read it to us.
I know.
Anytime you'd have, like, a sub.
Yeah. I don't know why that one came to my memory, but I just have memories of that book.
That one, it was widely used. Miss Nelson is Missing.
Yeah.
She had other ones, too, but Miss Nelson is Missing is the only one I really remember.
Same. I don't remember anything else. Later on, though, I was super into 39 Clues.
Never read a single one, but I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
There's so many of them. Are there 39 of them?
I don't know. I didn't ever read them all. I read a ton of them, but I don't think I read them all.
Did they go together?
I think they did. I have a horrible memory, so to be honest with you, I don't know.
Okay.
I think they did, but I think maybe different authors wrote them.
Okay.
Or something.
I remember kids would skip around and they wouldn't read them in what I thought they were supposed to be read in order.
I know. So
kids
I
would just check out random books, and that drove me insane, and I think that's why I never read them. It's like I would have to read it in order. I can't do it.
Did you read Geronimo Stilton?
No.
Girl, what is wrong with you? What did you read?
Did you read The Trumpet and the Swan?
What is that?
I read that one in like the 2nd grade. It was about a swan that learned how to play trumpet somehow, and I don't remember anything else of it. But it was like I don't think it was a classic, but it might be like close to considered a classic. For children.
Mm-hmm.
And starting in the 4th grade, I loved Diary of a Wimpy Kid because those came out when I was in the 4th grade.
Books.
Loved those. Every time I'd get a new one, my dad would read them and I would read them. It was like a little bonding thing. Diary of a Wimpy Kid. And number 2, I would read the Sisters Grimm's books.
Oh, never read those either.
Fantastic. Recommend them. You should read them. It's about these 2 sisters who are descendants of the Brothers Grimm, the guys that wrote all the fairy tales. And their parents die, and they get adopted by their grandmother that they didn't know existed. Come to find out she's living in a town where all the fairy tale creatures secretly live.
Oh, Ooh.
And all the books are tied together. So good. And I never read the last one, though, because the last one came out when I was in, like, 8th grade.
Oh, and you were too
and
cool.
At this point, I was too cool for it, and I should have read it
Yeah.
because it was a very good book series.
Were you into the American Girl books?
I had a few. I had Molly's books.
I just always got them from the library.
I had Molly's books because I had Molly the American Girl doll, which
I
let's
had
talk about her.
Julie. I had Julie.
I didn't have the American Girl doll from the American Girl doll store. My American Girl doll was from a yard sale.
Oh, so basically you had a knockoff?
No, she was real.
Oh.
But,
okay.
And she had a real outfit. But the thing was, the little girl that had her had messed up her hair.
Oh, I was going to ask if she cut her hair.
And all I ever wanted, like, it was just snarled. And all I ever wanted to do was brush the American Girl doll's hair, but I just couldn't. And I remember I would do all of this stuff to try to get her hair straight again.
Yeah.
And I just never could. But yeah, I had Molly. She was cool. But my sister, when she was little, then left Molly out of the box and my dog chewed her hand off.
Oh.
That was a sad day.
Yeah, I had Julie, the one on her books is like on the side of a train.
The one I wanted so bad. The 70s one. And I wanted Julie's bed. My cousin had Julie's bed.
Oh. I don't think I had any accessories. Can we talk about Polly Pockets and Little Pet Shop?
I had that in my notes because also Polly Pockets don't exist anymore.
What?
Wiped from the face of the earth.
We had this whole map that we would lay across our floor, and it had all the different houses on it, but we only had 4 or 5 houses. But we would set up all the different houses, and one of them was I don't even think it was a Polly Pocket house. I think it was a different little dollhouse we used as a Polly Pocket house.
Because they could fit in anything.
Mm-hmm. But we had the big hotel that had the elevator, and you would twist something on top to take stuff up the elevator. And it had a pool in it. And there was and a slide to the pool, and then a place for tea parties.
I don't know if I had any big houses for Polly Pockets. I had the convertible that had the hot tub in the back, which was really cool. Also, chewing on their clothes.
Oh, I couldn't explain it to you, but it's just
the little crunch you get.
Yeah.
It's so good. Probably why they don't exist anymore. I bet kids choked on it or something.
Well, I heard some girl doing a review on TikTok of some rubber straw.
Mm-hmm.
And she was doing it, and she was like, the girls will know what I mean. But this is using the straw is chewing on Polly Pocket clothes.
I don't know why. I think it was the bounce. The bounce was so good or something.
It was.
But we would play Polly Pocket at my friend's house growing up because she had a cool dollhouse. So her house was the Polly Pocket house. And a ton of Lincoln Logs, so we would extend it. My house was the Barbie house because I had so many Barbies.
Oh,
yes, I loved my Barbies.
And Littlest Pet Shop, did you have them?
I had a lot of Littlest Pet Shops, and those are so good. Littlest Pet Shops are still around.
I know, but
and they rebranded.
They're not as good.
They're pretty much the same. They rebranded as LPS because when my little sister's 10 years younger than me, and she played with Littlest Pet Shops, but they only refer to them as LPS.
Oh, interesting.
And there was a time when she would go online and the Littlest Pet Shops that were around when we were little were selling for hundreds of dollars.
Shut up. We got rid of all of ours.
I know. And I don't know. Or mine were moldy because I'd take them in the bath. You know what I mean?
Oh, uh-huh.
Their little heads would get mold growing out of them. And yeah. So I think we still had a few of them that she would play with, but she would look online and she would want to buy the ones off of eBay. Some of them weren't that expensive, but some of them were going for a lot of money.
I loved my spiders.
Your spiders? I loved the little hamsters. The hamsters were always the babies.
My sister had a hamster. We named her Pila. And
you've talked about Pila before because I've heard that name.
Pila was literally a legend. Okay, so I think Pila came with a certain house. It's a blue house with a little tunnel across the top.
Oh, yes, I had that.
Yeah, that's how you got your first hamster.
Yes.
So the hamster came with that house. So I think my sister got it. Well, we took Pila outside with us and we were playing around with Pila, all this stuff. Pila gets lost in a bush.
How did you come up with that name?
Listen, I don't know. It wasn't me. It was my sister. So Pila gets lost in a bush. We can't find Pila. It's she's gone, disappeared off the face of the earth. And then we go, I don't know if that was fall or when, maybe there were a bunch of leaves on the ground because spring rolls around. we'd cut all our bushes down to the ground, or like let them grow back up or something. It was in our garden.
Right.
That spring, my mom is going through the garden, digging things up. We're cleaning around. We find Pilush resurrected. I mean, it was incredible. And then it was like the party of our lives. It was awesome.
For little Pila.
Yeah.
It's the little things in life.
It really is. Oh my goodness.
Speaking of toys, did you have a doodle bear?
What is that?
There was one Christmas where all I wanted for Christmas was a doodle bear, Baby Alive, and an Easy Bake Oven.
Baby Alive. An Easy Bake. Oh my gosh.
And I got them. So Doodle Bear was just this stuffed bear that you could draw on, and then if you threw it in the wash, the drawing would come off.
Oh, I don't even know what that is. I've never seen it.
I had one of those. It was really cool. I also had an Easy Bake Oven, and I would bake so much stuff with that little light bulb oven.
I had an Easy Bake too.
I think it made me into the baker I am today.
Oh.
And it was probably... It had to be so many preservatives in that little thing because it would
for sure.
be this little packet that looked like an oatmeal packet.
Yeah.
And you would mix it with water, and I don't know if you would ever mix it with anything else. Maybe oil.
I don't know. I don't really remember.
And you
I
would just set it under this light bulb, and it was not great, but it was so good.
I know.
You could do it by yourself.
Oh.
I had good ones. I think I would make cinnamon rolls, and I would make cookies. I made cake sometimes, and sometimes they'd have icing in them.
Wow.
They were good. And then Baby Alive, I think it was because Baby Alive's been around forever. But
is that the baby that you like give the bottle to and
feed.
they actually like pee and?
Yeah, mine I could also feed this green food that like it was this powder you'd mix with water when it was green, and the baby would poop it out.
Oh.
Now, I think they made a flaw when they made the mouth of the baby like silicone.
Oh.
Because it would like crust inside the mouth.
Ew.
And not want to go down. But yeah, I don't know why I wanted this baby that would just poop and pee, and I'd have to change the diaper all the time.
Let me
I
tell
thought it was
you,
the coolest.
Let me tell you another story about. I don't know if it was a Baby Alive doll, but it was one of those similar dolls. Okay, that would pee and whatnot. You put the batteries in them, and what they do their thing. My sister got one of these for like her birthday or something. Her name was Gracie.
So many names.
I know. Gracie was her favorite doll in the whole world. And she would do all this stuff. Well, one day she was out in our yard and she had filled up a bucket and was like playing in water and wanted to take Gracie in this bucket of water with her in the summer. And my mom was like, "No, honey, you can't do that. Like, Gracie will die, basically." Okay. And my sister was like, no, it'll be so fun. She wants to take a bath with me and play in the water and swim. And my mom like decided, I guess, that she wasn't going to fight it or something. I don't know. Right. So Gracie goes in this whole pool of water, and after that is just done for. Like, Gracie's batteries are gone. So then later we held a funeral for this doll. Because my sister was like so broken up about it and loved this doll so much. We went out into our garden. My dad dug a big hole. My sister said some words, like we prayed, and buried this doll in our garden.
Is it still there to this day?
No, that's another part of the story. So, years later, it's probably like 5 years later or something like this. My mom had decided she wanted to get rid of the garden because it was so big. She wanted to like just make it a lot smaller and grass in the part of the yard. So we were digging up the entire garden and all the stuff in it. All of a sudden, my dad hit something in the ground and is like, "What is this?" And up comes Gracie. And my sister was gone at my grandma's house at the time. And he decided, this is like horror movies type stuff. He takes the doll outside, hangs it from the basketball hoop, like by her hair, so that my sister will see her when she gets home. And honestly, my sister thought it was the funniest thing because by then she was old enough that, like, I don't think she cared. But oh my word.
That's quite the story for that little baby alive.
I know.
She was not alive, unalived.
Right. Yep.
Wow. Well, I as a child used to rollerblade a lot. I don't know if children still do that, but we lived on a dead end, and I would rollerblade around my dead end in circles with my headphones and my CD player. Before I had an iPod, I had a CD player. And I had a few CDs, and I would just rollerblade around. I'd have big pockets, and I'd put that CD player right in my pocket, and I'd rollerblade around. Now, when I got an iPod, which was probably in like 6th or 7th grade, that was much easier, and I had more songs. But, yeah, there was a time when I would just rollerblade around with my CD player, and one of the CDs I remember I had was the Jonas Brothers.
Oh.
And I had that because it was when the movie Meet the Robinsons came out.
Oh, yep.
Such a good movie. They had Year 3000, I'm pretty sure was a song for that movie. And my brother loved that song, and my brother loved that movie. So I know what I'm going to get my brother for Christmas.
Yeah.
It's going to be the Jonas Brothers CD.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I think I was 6 or 7. Great idea for a 6 or 7-year-old. He opens it up and he goes, "This is for girls." And I was so disappointed. He gave it back to me, and then the Jonas Brothers CD was mine. But I jammed out to that thing on the monkey bars, on my rollerblades. I always had my portable CD player with me, and my portable CD player was a princess one.
Oh.
Just pink, and it had princesses on it.
Do you remember portable DVD players? Like those little things that like weren't laptops, but you could like flip them open and put your little... Yeah.
And we would take those on car rides.
Yeah. We never had
one
one,
time,
but, like, I knew people that did.
We would have ones. We also had some that were made for the cars. They would strap to the headrest. Sorry. They would strap to the headrest, and we figured out one car ride how to hook up my brother's PlayStation to these.
Oh.
And so we had like a 5-hour car ride, and we played the PlayStation in the back of the car.
Okay, back to your rollerblading, though.
Yeah.
We used to rollerblade, too, all the time. And our neighbors probably hated us because we used to blare music. Because my dad he used to work in the garage all the time. Did I just say coworkers? Or did I say neighbors?
No. Neighbors.
Okay, in my mind. It's been a long day, okay?
I bet.
Anyways, we would go out there and rollerblade all the time. And at first, before it was like a whole speaker system, my dad just had a radio out there. And so we just played the old CD tape player radio situation. Nice. And then he rigged up this whole speaker system in the garage so we could go plug in our iPods and play whatever we wanted to while we were rollerblading all around.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
It was good. Rollerblading to music, so calming. Love it.
It's the best.
It's the best feeling.
I know.
Being on wheels. Speaking about being on wheels, I also had a bike, and my mom would let me ride my bike to the library. And so I remember I saved up enough money to buy a basket for my bike.
Oh.
And in the summer, my mom would work at the bank in the summer, and my dad worked the night shift. So in the summer, it was basically we kept ourselves entertained for a few years.
Yeah.
And I was probably like 11 or 12. I would get to ride my bike to the library, and I would spend hours there picking out books, and then I'd come home with my basket full of books, and I would read them all.
That's so cute.
Was the cutest. But also, my brother and I, when we were home together, my dad would be sleeping, my mom would be at work, and we would sometimes ride our bike down to the Tridge, which is this bridge in our town. And every spring, it would flood. So this one was during the spring. And then the water would go back down. And so my brother and I decided we were going to go look for fish. No. We just went down there. And then we were looking in this puddle and realized there was a giant carp in there that was probably like 2 feet long. And so he goes, "I'm going to ride home and get the net. But you stay here so no one takes this fish." Like anyone else would take the fish in this puddle. Nobody else is going to. So I stood there. I was probably like 11 or 12, and I'm standing next to this puddle waiting for my brother to come back with a net. And here he comes, net in one hand, on his bike down to the river. He picks up this carp, which carp are gross fish, in this net. And then we ride this carp back home, and then he cooks it up on the grill when we get home.
Shut up.
And ate it.
Shut
His
up.
puddle carp.
That is not where I was expecting this story to go. Like, I don't know what I thought you were going to say, but not that you took the carp home and ate it. Oh, my word.
And we lived in town. This is just...
That is the funniest thing ever.
But the carp startled us because we were just, like, running through the puddles. when the river went back down, and all of a sudden this 2-foot carp goes like next to us, freaked us out. But then an opportunity arose, and we had food.
That is so funny.
Yeah, he was resourceful.
Someday we're gonna have to come back to childhood, like sibling memories and all that.
Oh, for sure.
But we don't have any plans currently to have siblings as a guest, but maybe we'll have to do that at some point.
Maybe we'll bring my brother on.
Yeah, or my sisters.
Yeah, I think we'd all have good stories.
I agree. All right. Well, I hope you enjoyed our first episode back in quite a long time.
Right. Season 2 is off with a good start, we hope.
I know. And then we'll be back for another 10 episodes here.
Right. We're excited to be here. We're excited to be back. We're going to keep going strong.
You don't sound very excited.
I'm so excited to be back. We're going to keep going strong, and we hope you come strong with us. And you are listening.
That was too much, but I'm glad to hear your excitement.
Too much, not enough. Will I ever be enough for you, Abby?
Yeah.
Anyways, like, subscribe, listen, send us emails about your childhood. Maybe they're really funny and we'll read them on the show.
Yeah. Comment if you agree with our memories, if you had an easy bake oven, or if you watched Nanny McPhee when you were sick.
Right.
Or Dragon Tales. Love that show.
Dragon Tales.
Well, have a good week. And join us again next week.
Every Tuesday.